Today I'm going to talk about how I made my first $1,000 online. And it was actually $2,000 in one freaking day. And the reason I want to share this with you guys is I think it would be really important for you to understand the steps I took to earning my first $1,000 online, also the mistakes I made along the way. Because the truth is there are so many different ways to earn income online. Not all of them might align with you. That's where I'm going to start. My story is with the mistakes I made, and then I'm going to share with you the things that I've really learned since being in this space for almost 2 years that have really helped me, and they help my students fast track their success. Even though I was really overwhelmed when I started my online business and actually had no idea where to start, I have still been able to successfully build this business that doubles my previous income as a child protection social worker. And that's where my story starts. I was pregnant with my second son, burnt out on stress leave as a social worker. The idea of going back to that job was just weighing so heavily on my mind. I share this a lot in social media, but there's 5 words my husband said to me that have absolutely changed my life. He came home from work one day and I was feeling like such a loser. I had done nothing. I had just sat on the couch and watched Netflix. I've always measured my life based on success. I've always measured it on how busy I was, how much I was contributing. As a social worker, I was always the one that took the hard cases. People were always so impressed that I had to work with the cops and deal with this trauma and blah, blah, blah. Little do they know I'm sitting in my car devouring pizza at 3 a.m, crying my eyes out. So I always thought that your value as a person was measured by how much you were contributing outwardly, your time, the effort you're putting forward, the things that you provide for others. So anyways, my husband comes home. He says, "I'm so proud of you." It was the first time in my life I had ever been validated for doing nothing. And it was the first of many because since starting this online business, I wake up to income notifications. I wake up to sales. I wake up to money in my bank account and I'm sleeping. I'm literally being validated for doing nothing. So him saying that really had me reflect on society and what we're valued for as human beings. So that's where this journey started for me. Then I discovered that there was a way to make money online just through this girl on Facebook talking about making 4 figures while stranded on a boat. Mind you, she was not my cup of tea at all, but I am forever grateful to her because she did open up the door and opened up my eyes to the opportunities online, but she was one of the many people in this space that was lying. So I'm going to get into that because I really just want to be open and transparent about the type of marketing that is done in this space so that you don't end up wasting money like I did. So here's the truth that a lot of people won't tell you is you don't need a fancy website. You don't need to invest $2,500 into education. You don't need 200 modules to actually learn how to earn income online. The first step is showing up and taking messy action, which is exactly what a lot of people hesitate to do because they feel like they just don't know enough. So when I first started with that girl, she had offered me a $7 course, which I purchased because I thought, okay, $7, cup of coffee, no big deal. It ended up being a 15-day course that was packed with quite a bit of information, but every 3 to 4 days you had a call. It was a sales call where they tried to upsell you and essentially make you believe that you didn't know enough. You weren't enough. Your knowledge, your value, experiences were not enough. And what you needed to do to get started was you needed to sell their product because then it would give you the experience that you need to actually create and sell your own, which was just simply not true. So I fell down that rabbit hole. I did not invest in that course, but instead I found another mentor and invested almost $10,000 into one-to-one training. The reason I put that in quotes is my mentorship is not video face-to-face. It's just not what I would call real mentorship. That course also, they promoted it as we're going to help you start your business, but really what it was is we're going to help you promote our product and help you sell our product, and then you're going to get a commission. Now, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with this business model. It has made people millions of dollars. But the way that people market this business model is really quite sleazy. because they market it with showing you income and notifications. Here's $1,000 a day and encouraging you to think that this is you running your own business. But really, this is you regurgitating their messaging, showing up and copying everything that they're doing to sell the same product. So you're all just showing up on social media doing the same thing. The sad part is that it works. You cast this wide net. You get thousands of comments and people buying, but those people are not going to be successful. Those people buying are not going to be successful. It's very enticing, and I was very drawn to wanting to do those things, but the truth is it didn't feel good. So when you start your online business, this is the first takeaway that I want you to have. It needs to feel good. It needs to feel aligned with you, or you are not going to make money. And yes, some people do make money using messaging that's untruthful. And some people make their millions doing that. Let them do it that way. I can tell you that's not how I made my first $1,000 online. Once I started to understand that the people in this space that were making $120,000 in 12 weeks or $60,000 in 2 months as a complete beginner with no experience was a lie. These women actually had a lot of experience. They had experience in network marketing. They had experience in sales. They had experience in social media. So for somebody like me who believed them and was a complete beginner, I genuinely thought my first 30 days in this space, I was going to make $10,000 online. And then the next month rolled around and I still didn't make any money. Then I switched products and I purchased a product that I did feel more aligned with. I did really appreciate the leader of this product, and I sold her course for 100% profit. I shifted the way I was speaking on social media. I stopped copying what other people were doing, and I started showing up with my own voice. I started serving. I stopped trying to sell to people. I stopped trying to be like, hey, buy this. I just want to make $100,000. I started showing up with gratitude and having conversations with people that weren't going to buy, but having real conversations. I stopped misleading people. As soon as I made that shift, it was literally just right after my 90-day mark, I made $2,000 in one freaking day. I couldn't believe it. I celebrated with my husband and my kid, and I was like, oh my God, it's happening. It changed everything for me because it showed me the opportunity. And I felt good about those sales because I believed in this course. I'm not going to go into too much details about this, but that course creator moved platforms, changed the direction of that course, and I no longer felt aligned with it. So it pushed me into finally understanding that what I needed to do was build something from my own knowledge, from my own experiences to help people, because that's something you have control over. I know a lot of people just left their customers high and dry when that course went sideways. I have way too much integrity to do that. So when I built my community, every single person that I sold to was invited into my new course and my new community for free. Now I stand behind my product because I know that it has value, and I know the direction it's going to go is going to be led with integrity, with transparency, and none of this like misleading messaging. So again, the first takeaway is to show up and just take that first step, even though you have no idea what you're doing. The second piece of this is to show up with gratitude. If you want to make that first $1,000 online, you can't show up from this place of scarcity, this place of desperation. I just want to make money. I just want to make money. And I know that you just want to make money. And I know that those things are true. But it really has to be about helping people. And that's going to take you so much further than you could ever imagine going, because no longer are you just making money. You're building sustainable wealth. So you're not just chasing the next sale. You're actually building wealth for yourself, for your future, for your family. Once I started to run my own community, sell my own courses, ebooks, and digital products that I created from my knowledge, from my experiences, I got feedback from my customers. A lot of my customers say that the reason that they bought from me is because I seemed like a real person. So, third takeaway here is be a real person, and not the person that you see on social media that's a few steps ahead of you. Be the real person that is you right now. If you are trying to be like somebody else, people are going to see that and they're going to recognize it, and they might not right away, and you might make money off of them and you might make a sale, But are they going to stick around? Are they going to give you a positive testimonial? Are they going to give you a review, or are they going to feel ripped off? That's something you need to ask yourself in how you want to run your business. Also, learning from a creator that's very prevalent in this space that burnt her $8 million business to the ground, showing up inauthentically burns you out because you're constantly trying to be somebody else. And trust me when I say this to you guys, this sounds easier said than done. And you might be sitting here listening to this YouTube video right now where you're like, you know what? It's fine. Of course I'm going to be myself. But it is hard. That comparison, those self-doubt, that limiting belief pops into your mind and you're like, oh, she's making $200,000 a month. Like, I just need to start doing what she's doing. And it's hard. I get pulled constantly, like, just to be honest, in different directions all the time. And I have to keep bringing it back to my vision statement. I have to keep bringing it back to what it is I actually want to do and who I want to help and how I want to help them. And I have to have that as a reminder so that I'm showing up authentically, actually doing what I plan to do. I don't want to just chase money. I want to build wealth. And I want you to be able to do that too. So I'm going to drop into some of the steps I took to actually earn income online consistently after making that first $1,000, that first $2,000. So step number one to actually having success is deciding that I was worth having success. Yes, you guys, this is a decision. Waking up every single morning, challenging those thoughts, challenging those limiting beliefs, and deciding that my knowledge has value. What would I pay right now if somebody like brainwashed me, wiped my memory, and all of my experiences away from me? What would I pay to have that back? That is your value. You don't need somebody to hand you a certificate and tell you have value. I'm sorry, but that is a society expectation just ingrained in you. So step number one is believing that you have value and showing up, knowing that you are capable of helping others. Step number two that really helped me be successful is picking a simple offer. In the beginning, I was creating my own ebooks that were so complicated. There was like 50 pages to them. And stepping back now, I'm like, nobody even read them. Like my poor customers that bought them, there's no way they read all of that and were able to apply it. So keep it simple. Keep out the BS, keep out the fluff. Just get straight to the point on how you're going to help people. The goal with digital products, the goal with any business really is to help somebody solve a problem. Whatever they're struggling with, you're providing them a transformation. You're taking them from the bottom of the mountain to the top of the mountain. How do they get there? They fucking walk. But in this metaphor, they get there with the roadmap you're providing them. Keep that roadmap simple. You don't need to have a bunch of rocks, boulders, logs, and shit they have to climb over to get to the top. You just want to lay it out for them where it's, okay, here's what you need to do. A simple offer does not mean it doesn't have value. A simple offer does not mean they're not going to learn from it, not be successful from it. A simple offer just means you're keeping out all of the BS that a lot of people throw into their offers to make it look good. More content, more education does not equal more value. Just take the value and condense it. Step 3 in this process is creating content that speaks to the person that you want to speak to. It is so hard not to just want to talk to everybody because you want everybody to know about your awesome product and the awesome things you've got going on in your life. But your message gets lost. You really need to narrow in on what I call your target audience and speak directly to them. That involves showing up on social media every single day. I'm not saying you have to have your phone because if you follow me on Instagram, you probably know that I am out camping in the bush a lot. However, my posts still magically appear on my social media platforms every day because there's this thing called scheduling. It's done right through the app. It's amazing because you can schedule your content, but showing up consistently is really important. As part of step 3, it's also really important. I know that there's all these like faceless marketing accounts out there. Show your face. Show people who you are. Please just show them who you are. I'm not saying you need to let them into your life and your day-to-day, but they need to understand where you stand. It's okay if you are not for everybody. Don't try to be for everyone. You know what? I need to make the creating content consistently like a whole other YouTube video because honestly, this piece is huge. When you show up as yourself, that's when you're going to actually see the money rolling in. Step 4 is don't get burnt out before you start making money. So start marketing on one platform. I made this mistake. I started on TikTok and I was on Instagram and Facebook. And then I felt overwhelmed and I was like, oh my God, what's the point in even doing this business? I'm spending more time on my phone than with my kids anyways. So I had to really step back and reflect on where do I want to focus my time and attention, because they are all different platforms. People consume content differently on all of the different social media platforms. So you can't just make one video, post it to all 4 of them and expect them to do well. So just pick one and stick with it. Also, automate as much as you can. This is where that mentorship that I invested in wasn't so good because they didn't know how to automate using ManyChat. If you don't know what ManyChat is, I've got a link below. You can check it out. It's basically this automation you can set up with your social media account. So everybody comments like a special word, like DM me blueprint, and I'll send you my free guide. It sends it automatically. So when I had a viral video, my first viral video, I was getting 100 comments every half hour. There was like a weekend window where I spent 17 hours on my phone on the Saturday and 16 hours on my phone on the Sunday. Does that sound like a passive business you want to run? Does that sound like how you want to make your first $1,000? Because I didn't know about this automation, because I didn't understand that you could automate all of these parts of your business, people were waiting and they were losing interest. You got to get to them fast. So automation, don't think of it as taking away that personal connection. Automation helps you and it helps the people that you serve. So I use automations in all parts, but these are just like step 4 is just keep it simple, focus on one platform and automate all of the steps along the way. Step 5 is make your offer easy to buy. Now, in the beginning, my first sales page was so complicated. It had so many words, so many pictures. And the truth is, once you identify your target audience and you've nailed it on your messaging, your sales page just needs to give them what they want to hear. It should be a really quick message, almost like a podcast intro. I help you do this. I help you achieve this outcome. I'm Angie. I'm going to help you make your first 5K online with digital products. Here's a free this, or purchase my course here. Just make it clear, make it easy for them to buy. Don't make it complicated for them when they're sitting there and they've got their credit card ready to go, because they're gonna back out. I can tell you, as somebody who buys things online, especially digital products all the time, I will not purchase your digital product if I have to go find where to purchase it. I'm not gonna put in any more effort. I'm giving you my money, right? So just make your product easy to buy. Simple, short, sweet, tell them what they want. Then at the bottom, for the people who are analytical buyers, you can add in information that talks about what they get. Just have a spot at the top of your page, buy here. And then if they want to keep reading the information, they have that option as well. Now, if I had known about these 5 steps of deciding I was worth it, just showing up, taking the leap, taking the messy action, just actually doing it and learning from it, picking a simple offer, picking an offer that I had knowledge in, that I had experience in, as well as creating content and showing up consistently instead of trying to overthink it or trying to make it perfect, narrowing in on who I was talking to and how I was going to help them. If I had just focused on one platform instead of trying to do all of the platforms at once, I have a feeling I would have made my first $1,000 a lot sooner than I did. With that being said, there is no guarantee in this online space. You get what you put in, and when you put in the work, you're gonna get the output, but you have to be going in the right direction. That's where I think a lot of people get lost. If you're interested in starting or learning more, I have a couple different options to help you. You can always grab my blueprint below. It's a quick 10-minute training that'll walk you through coming up with your first digital product idea. If you're ready to dive in so you can apply these 5 steps to the action you have to take to build your business from start to finish, I'd love to encourage you to check out my Kootenay Mom Life Community. It includes my 15-day course to create, launch, and sell your first digital product, and it includes a real mentorship, meaning you and I will get to connect and we will talk, and I will look over your account and I will give you feedback and we'll bounce ideas off, and it's just a beautiful experience for both of us. If that sounds like something you're into, then just check out the links below this video. But as always, I want you to know I have an unwavering belief in your potential, and I wish you nothing but success. See you guys in the next video.